I'm an economist.
And I'm a writer.
And this is Gains from Trade.
Hey, Steve, you want to make a video about incentives with me?
Not really, Squire. I'm working.
I will give you this cup of coffee and this muffin.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I think we're done here.
Wait. There's a lot more to say about incentives.
Oh yeah, we have to do negative incentives too.
Right.
Make a video with me or I will kick you in the shins.
All right. Very funny. But you're not exactly wrong, you know. There are two kinds of incentives. The positive kind, like the coffee, and then the negative kind, like the kick in the shins.
Right, and that's the way that people think about incentives most often. As something that we control from the outside, something that we offer to people in order to get them to behave in a way that we'd like. So in the first poem that we had students look at for this unit, we have the shepherd offering the nymph incentives to come live with me and be my love. He offers her a whole string of positive incentives if she'll do it. But she counters by saying that his incentives are insufficiently strong to persuade her to act. He messed up. He needs to
make her an offer she can't refuse.
Good example, Horwitz. But Don Corleone knows a lot about incentives. So does Lady Macbeth. When she tells Macbeth that if he kills the current King of Scotland, he can have the throne.
It's a positive incentive. When she tells him that if he doesn't do it, everyone will think he's a wimp and a loser, it's a negative one.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when Peter Rabbit's mother tells him not to go into Mr. McGregor's garden or he'll get baked into a pie.
Yep, negative incentive. But don't forget, incentives can be a lot more complicated than that too.
Right, in stories, we're often talking about incentives that one person is offering to another person in order to elicit a certain kind of response or behavior based on personal knowledge of that other person. But they don't have to be manipulative. They can just be part of the way things are.
Right. I drink a lot more coffee in the winter than I do in July, but that's not because someone specific has offered me an incentive. Rather, cold weather is just an incentive to drink hot things. Most market incentives aren't that direct either. Market incentives are just an unintended consequence of market exchange. They work not by being fine-tuned to specific people with personal knowledge, but instead by providing generalized incentives for any number of people to alter their behavior.
It's Grapes of Wrath.
What?
You remember Grapes of Wrath. It's Steinbeck's classic novel set in the 1930s. The Joads are an Oklahoma farm family who lose their farm to the Dust Bowl, and the whole novel is about their trek from Oklahoma to California to find work.
Yes, it's all about incentives and how people respond to them. The Joads face the negative incentive, stay in Oklahoma and starve, and the positive incentive, go to California in search of work and cheap land.
Right, and they do exactly what you'd expect. They do what any sensible person would do. They get up and move. That's what incentives make us do.
When market conditions change, prices change. And these new prices act as a special kind of incentive because they also work as a surrogate for knowledge. They tell anyone with an interest in a job or in land that they might need to alter their behavior, buy a beat-up car, and go to California.
People don't need to know all the reasons why they want to change their behavior. They just need to know that they do.
Exactly. Prices are like a signal flare that gets noticed by people who have a reason to notice it. And Steinbeck's struggling Oklahoma family had a reason to notice.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not just about what happens in your favorite novels. Price changes alter the incentives of countless real people, too. Usually those changes are so small that we don't even notice, like when someone shops for what's on sale at the grocery store. But sometimes the incentives created by changing prices are really important.
Like with supplies after a natural disaster, right?
Right.
At first, prices go up because supplies might be short, and there's high demand for things like ice and bottled water and cleaning supplies. But the higher price creates new incentives.
And people respond to them. The new price makes it worthwhile for people from outside the affected area to bring in new supplies of goods to the disaster area. The incentives created by prices are crucial to our ability to communicate with people across great distances without using the spoken or written word.
Even people who provide services will respond to the incentive of a higher price for their labor, like the electricians and the carpenters who come in from hundreds of miles away to repair homes after a disaster. But it's not that easy to decide to leave your friends and family and home while you search for better work. There's a lot of novels about people facing exactly that choice.
Just like Grapes of Wrath.
There are great stories to help you think about the kinds of incentives that it takes to get people moving. You really can't have a story without incentives because no one would do anything.
And in an economy without incentives, no one would do anything either.